This is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the Cambridge House Resource Conference 2012 in lovely downtown Vancouver, BC. A recognizable face standing next to me is David Morgan of silver-investor.com, most popular newsletter. David, welcome to SNN Live.
Well, it's great to be with you again.
It's good to have you back. Now, what's on your mind?
Well, I think it's the biggest conference we've seen here in Vancouver, and I've been coming to these as a speaker for about a decade. I also have been coming as an investor since I was in my 20s, believe it or not. So I've never seen one this large, a lot of buzz in the room. It shows me that the sector is really doing well, and it's going to probably continue to do well for a few more years.
This is a really interesting gauge of the importance of having a conference for investors, because the rooms, the speaker halls, are filled with people who are seeking information from our today's experts, correct?
Exactly. All markets moved on volume. So the more people that participate in a market, there's the more money that flows into it, therefore the price of whatever the commodity, the stock, or whatever goes up. When you see this kind of forum, and it's bigger and bigger, that shows there's a lot of momentum left in it. As far as I'm personally concerned, what we're seeing now is the base or the foundation for the next major leg up in the precious metals and a lot of other resources as well. All
right, now, every one of our investors wants to hear you tell us what's going to happen with silver.
Well, what's going to happen with silver is what's always happened with silver. The price will fluctuate. That aside, I'm looking for silver to do well this year. It's going to take a while, I think, to find a base and move higher. I'm looking for silver to take out the nominal high, which is around $48 that was established around May 1st of 2011. And once that base moves up into that level, I think we could see $60 by the end of the year. So I'm pretty bullish. I think you get a double out of silver this year, but I think it'll take at least a year to do that.
If you could take any resource, I know you have your favorites, and I know you have your dogs. What's your favorite, and what's your dog?
Well, my favorite resource is probably silver. I think I'd have to say that. But as far as what I'm not that fond of right now in the resource sector, well, that's a tough one, because I'm pretty much a commodities bull all the way through. I would say, what trades on the commodities, this is a smart answer, would be the biggest exchange is on the bond market. So that resource, that paper market, that's the one I'm negative on.
I didn't know what your answer would be, but that's a good answer. So what do you think about thorium?
Thorium I wrote in the Morgan Report in the January issue, and it's an alternative to uranium. It was a brief, it wasn't a very in-depth, but it was a well-thought-out, well-researched article that I wrote. I think it's a very good alternative to the uranium side. It still gets nuclear power cleanly, a lot less danger that you have with uranium. So it's a piece that I took some time with, and I think that I like to help with solutions, not problems. I talk about the problems very often, and people sort of look at me from that aspect, and that's correct to do so. I also like to look at the other side and say, well, you can define the problem correctly, that's great, but let's get on with some solutions. It's a huge energy solution. It doesn't cost much money. You could build a plant in a cookie-cutter fashion, so you could actually make the manufacturing of a nuclear power plant using thorium, and you could take that as like a cutout and put it up again and again and again. So just by that methodology that you use in the auto industry or any other industry cuts the cost a great deal and gets things started a lot faster. So it's something that I think a lot of people don't know about. I really like the thorium story, and it fits under the rare earth elements. And the Morgan Report was one of the first to start talking about rare earth elements before a lot of other people started in that sector.
Question. What comparative can you make regarding the abundancy of thorium versus uranium? Is that a consideration in going to thorium as well?
Partially. I did address that, and to be honest, I can't remember the exact numbers, but what I recall is that it's fairly plentiful, and uranium is not as plentiful. Basically, the cost structure is what you want. What you want to look at is what's called energy flux density. You want to see how much return on investment you get energy-wise. So if you put X amount of energy in and you get 2X out, that's a good one. If you put X amount of energy in and you get 1.1X out, that's not as good. So that's an analogy. That's not the exact numbers that you're looking at with thorium. So you want to get as efficient as possible. The only way to really get over the hump, as far as I'm concerned, is to get a lot more electricity cleanly and efficiently. Thorium is part of the answer to that.
And disposing of it.
And that's where I came in on that as well. Thorium will actually be able to eat up, if you will, for lack of a better term, bad nuclear waste that already exists. So that's a subset of the story that very few people, again, know about. So, again, you know, the Morgan Report is a little deeper than just silver only. I am a fairly deep thinker. I do have a research team. And this is something that I'm glad you gave me the forum to talk about because, you know, I love being the silver guy, and it's one of my passions, as everyone that knows me knows. But other than that, you know, I do look outside of that space a great deal. I like to find value. I like to be leading edge. I like to be, if you pardon the term, a visionary. I like to look out 10 years and see how the world could look if we get off our behinds and start really, you know, taking the action required to start solving these problems instead of talking about these problems.
No, I think your name and reputation goes far beyond silver, but you've made your name in silver. There's no getting. I mean, you started the Silver Summit for crying out loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the website so we can find out and start getting some more people reading your newsletter.
Okay, it's silver-investor.com or themorganreport.com. Either one will get you there.
TheMorganReport.com is what I know of mostly. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, David Morgan, go check him out. Newsletter, speaker. Now, you're a featured speaker at this conference, correct?
I am, yes.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Always good to see you. Thank you for coming on to SNN Live.
My pleasure. Thank you.